head east. Spackled with blood.
I'll take a look.
Huh?
Gwyneth hides in a tall underbush. Twigs poke out of her hair. Chunks of dried mud clung waist high of her heather leggings. Quiet! Keep low. Take a look. She points up to the ridge. My friends are up there, over the lip of the hill. What's going on? The Fangs must have caught the scent and rushed the group. She begins to run her gloved fingers over her hair and stops. The pressure snaps one of the twigs stuck in her black curls. Some of my friends are still alive, but the Fangs have them surrounded. The expedition. Gilfish grounds her hand to the pommel of her estoc, or what remains of it, has taken cover in some ruins above the cliffs. The Fangs must be toying with them, or letting them starve a bit before the next attack. We need to act, or they're as good as dead. How did the Fangs get here? Looks down to her feet, shaking her head slowly. I cut a decoy path, set false campfires, and dusted over every footprint I could find. It didn't slow them much. I'll see what I can do. Maybe you can find a way around the Fangs. There's got to be another way up the ridge. She wipes away the sweat from her brow, her glove leaving behind a dirty smudge. You aren't dressed like my men. Perhaps you could try talking to the Fangs. They might not think you're with us. She grabs your hand, squeezing it. Please help. I already have enough friends to bury.
Estramore.
Stillness. The woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now. No need to fight yet. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars raise her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners, more unclean feet trampling on our lands, more blood to feed the trees. She shakes her head. You should not be here, Estamar. Her hand moves to one of the several blades strapped to her hips. You are here in our lands. It is either to steal from us or to aid those who would. She gestures to the north, at the ruins of Engwiffen buildings protruding from the underbrush. The Erudian mercenaries, looters. Can you hear their panicked whispers? Leave this place at once, or we will kill you when we finish with the Estorians. I'm a friend of El Grafan. She holds her gaze on you. The great stag stomps its front hooves on the ground and turns to his master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? If you're indeed friend, you would respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with trespass. The woman clenches her jaw. Its muscles quiver under the pressure until suddenly calm returns to her expression. If you have no bonds of kin or kith with the looters, I will give you a chance to prove it. She draws one of her swords and with a swift arcing motion points to the ruins beyond. The intruders must be purged from our lands. Prove your worth, and we will believe your word. Tell me about the mercenaries. Raiders, looters, same as all the other Deobudian thieves that pillage our lands. The woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the Deobudians from their first step beyond the Great River and waited them to err. They always do. We claimed half their pack in our first assault. The cowards that ran now huddle to the north. When the wind turns, we will smell their fear. If you surrender, will you let them live? Softness such as yours will not bring them to heal. The greed knows no bounds. Their memory honours no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example do we set to others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive again? Resolve, because you soar where they crawl. The Fangs deserve better foes than those wounded animals. Send them home with grave warnings for their kin. Go for that. The woman gazes north, her mouth a twisted scowl as she ponders your words. The great stag nudges her shoulder. and she reaches up to scratch the animal's chin. Blood was spilled, and life sprouts from a soaked ground. She looks at you with a cold glare, mutters a curse under her breath, and sheaths her blade. We will let the raiders return headless. Their leader must pay for the crimes. Only then may the rest go free. Go deliver my message before I see the folly in this decision. Do you wish the leader dead? We wish the leader to be an example to others. Sever his head, his freedom, or his family, whichever will best warn others not to trespass into our lands. Stop, friend or foe. The man in his blood-soaked armour points his blade at you, and his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. You're not Glavavan. He tightens the grip on the sword's handle. I'm Magraine, friend or foe, I said. Calm down. I'm a friend. Sword still pointing at you, the man gives a sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenary lowers their weapons. A rare and welcome sight. Friends this far from north. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary companion. Look at us, hiding in rocks and holding in our guts. He points south to Fangs. They bloodied us, and now we're trapped. Thingy sent me. What happened? Reinforcements, girl. Reinforcements, girl. Resourceful girl. The captain huffs a chuckle before returning to his humourless frown. We assumed the Glafakans killed her before coming upon us. I'm relieved she's alive. Doubtly relieved, she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood, across his shoulders. The tribesmen ambushed us just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Esmar stares at his feet as he finishes his thoughts. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. The stench of burning flesh and the choking smoke obscured the scent, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to those ruins to regroup, but now we're trapped. The face painters are just south of our position, and they have us cornered. No doubt they're happy to let us starve while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with a locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we will be making our last stand. He mutters as he clenches a golden ornament. Bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. Diplomatic. Esmer blinks and arches his eyebrows in surprise. Well, if anyone could have, I suppose it would be you. What? Pressures around his eyes deepen with his growing frown. He looks at his locket and then lifts his eyes back to you. Prisoner. If it's the only way to save my men, I'll endure it. But who's prisoner? Captain, in return, your men will be free. Rotting in a grandfather cage, half wondering if death is a better opinion. He peels the chain and lock it off his neck, and holds it to a nearby soldier. You know where this needs to go. The two men nod at each other. The captain turns to his companion. Each of his soldiers stare back, pale with fear. Esmar takes a deep breath, then raises his fist in the air. New orders. You're to fall back. The expedition is over. Stow your gear and make for Defiance Bay at once. The mercenaries exchange glances with each other, waiting for the first one to obey the command. Are you deaf? I won't tell you again. Time to go now. Esmar's booming voice springs the reluctant mercenaries into action. Wounds are dressed one last time. Camping gear is secured, and within minutes the men set off on their march, nodding at their leader in acknowledgement as they pass. Is it good? I don't know. Is it bad? I don't know. Her gloved hands half buried on the waves of her rebellious hair. Watches you approach. You did it. Her dimples frame a beaming smile. She lets out a sigh of relief and wags her finger at you. We'll be chanting your name back in the gift. Everyone will know what you've done for us, I promise. I don't think so. Her smile cracks for a moment as she looks off to the distance. Don't know if we'll see Esmar again, but his sacrifice has saved the expedition. We couldn't have negotiated our way out of this without your help. I'm quite surprised she's actually so cheerful. She scratches her cleft chin with her free hand and gives you a measuring look. But you're the type to deserve more than just praise. Coin, weaponry? She rubs her gloved fingers together. If nothing tangible suits your fancy, I'll gladly share my skills with you. I think I've got the good weaponry, so I'd like to learn from your skills. Singer nods enthusiastically. I was hoping you'd say that. She removes the gloves from her hands, stowing them in her back pocket. When you spend as much time as I do in the runes, you'll learn to strike first and to strike without a warning. She holds her Esther out in front of her, its blade parallel to the ground. The key is efficiency of movement. Dungeon Delver. She walks you through several footwork drills that focus on quiet footfalls and measured breathing. Place your weight onto the final step when you're ready to strike. She yells for emphasis as she demonstrates a swift, silent lunge. As you follow her example, she nods in satisfaction. I think you've got the grasp of it. I'm honoured I could teach you something new. She half curtsies and turns to take her leave. I thought she would have been a little bit more angrier since...
Can't get a good shot with this. Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Better than most.
That's it!
Come on.
How may I help?
My mind feels sharp as steel.
What do you suppose happened to him?
Well, does it look like he drowned? Beneath the raging waterfall, the corpse of an elven Grafafin hunter lies shattered against the rocks. Broken bones protrude through his skin, but you also notice deep, parallel cuts in the rotting flesh. The slashes trace almost every part of the body, as if it has been ravaged by a dozen blades. This man probably died before his fall from the cliff above. You touch the dead elf's forehead, droplets of water glistening down its purple surface, and feel a sudden jolt from the hunter's lingering essence. The world around you fades away. You're walking among the underbrush, without making a sound. Moonlight catches sight of your arms, shining them pale, but you quickly dart again into the shadows of the giant trees of the Northwood. Your blood brother is not so deaf as you expected. Look at him, frail, unaware. He doesn't deserve to share the glory of this hunt. It's been countless seasons since a Stelgar like this one, twice the size of its lesser kin, has roamed the forest near Twin Elves. Arthur fell for the trick. You almost feel pity for him, but you have convinced yourself that he only gets in the way once the killing begins. You'll be safer by the river, expecting that we'll flank the Stelgar when it comes out to drink. But this kill will be only yours. The Stelgar is larger than you imagined. It stands without fear atop the waterfall's ledge, its silhouette cutting a monstrous hole against the mantle of the night sky. A beast of legend, a true hunter. Your hand tightens around the shaft of your father's spear. The weight feels balanced, just right. As you prepare the throw, you put everything into it. The spear flies true and hits its mark. The Stelgar didn't even hear a sound. Its blood spills bright on the rocks, yet it stands unfazed. The beast pounces. Moonlight shines over its great fangs. Your hands draw your blades, without a second thought, as you lunge forward to meet this monster. It's fast. It's ripping your flesh apart. You stab at the darkness, engulfing you, deep, again and again, but there's no slowing its embrace.
What? This thing isn't doing the job.
How about? come upon a clearing and see a group of Gravafins standing in a circle. Sagani glances from the adder statuette to the hunters, looking for a connection. Meanwhile, the hunters turn and notice you. Their bows are drawn. Take it easy, we're just looking for someone.
What business does an Estromor have with the Fangs?
They step aside and turn to you, and as they do, you see something on the ground behind them. Lying amongst the ferns is a white stag. Dark blood mars its brilliant coat, and its sides tremble with quick, shallow breaths. You feel a presence of the beast, something ancient and familiar. Before you can speak, something thumps to the ground. You look down to see the Adra bear, its bright glow flickering.
Auric's shadow.
Sagani draws up beside you, her wide eyes fixed on the dying stag. Idea realizes what he's seeing and he covers his mouth. Sorry, Sagani. One of the hunters take a step forward and Sagani raises her bow, an arrow nocked.
Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him.
Her voice is low and tremulous.
I never thought I'd prepared myself to meet a stranger. To share the honor and history of my village with someone who had no knowledge of us. Even someone who'd scorn our way of life.
Gonna kill him. What's going on there?
I was going to tell him about the years of abundance in Masuk. How his granddaughters have hunted caribou, and his grandsons made our walls strong. But he'll be gone in minutes.
In time of his impact on Masuk. She deals by the fallen stag, placing her hand on its head. She begins speaking. She tells Persok of prosperous decades, the grain trade that has sustained him through long winters. She recites the stories told about him and speaks of the new elders who have followed in his footsteps. Stag takes a final shuddering breath and falls still.
If you've finished your chanting, we need to get to work before the meat spoils.
Have you no respect? A great soul inhabited this body.
She takes the luckerless Adra figurine.
And it's gone now. What's left is our kill.
You owe Sagani an apology?
I want nothing from the tongues of these carrion eaters. Coming from people who revere stones and long-dead Audra.
She slanders the builders.
Let's all stay calm. There's no need to argue. I could do the resolve, but I can't do intimidate. Like I say, I'm honest and diplomatic.
You Estromoran are full of useless talk.
Guess that didn't work. Alright. Over a ground hardened by dry blood and stomped leaves, the corpse of a giant Stelgar crawls with flies. Its flesh has been pierced and cut, as if stabbed by spears, slashed by swords. You touch the dead Stelgar's flank, a cloud of flies stir in the air, and suddenly you feel the creature's remaining essence. The world around you fades away. The pack rests, rocks shelter the young, full bellies. You turn away and look beyond the trees. The moon breaks over their swaying canopy. A scent in the air stirs or tingling in your mouth. You slide into the darkness, the taste of hunt filling your nostrils. Light shines on the stones by the water that falls. Prey down below. Two-legged, hair like dry grass, it moves near the water that flows. Thin legs, slow, noisy, unaware. It holds a sharp stick. Two-legged hunter, weak hunter, prey. Closer, prey. Bright moon, prey, into the dark. Pain on your side. A sharp stick pokes out of your flank. You roar and shake it. It snaps, breaking on the stones. Wet stones, your blood. Leaves rustle, you look. Another two-legged, another hunter. Thick legs, silent steps, striped face, strong hunter enemy. You leap, aiming at its neck. It moves fast. Your claw finds flesh, ripping it deep, ripping it down. Wet leaves. Two-legged blood. It howls. It fights back. Long claws cut through the air. They slash at your flesh. More pain, sharp pain. You strike. It strikes. Hot blood on your claws. Hot cuts on your chest. The world goes red. Your strength fails. You can't breathe. The two-legged hunter looks down. Wet ground on our blood. Wet ground, our blood. Sharp stick above its head. Bright moon above its head. Strong hunter. The world goes dark. Easy peasy. Love it. Alright. Still killing everybody. Plan to do. Winding stairs hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen on the road from somewhere up above, and it now sits squarely in your way. Examine the area. The boulder is nearly flush with the cliff face, preventing you from passing by on that side. Along the edge of the cliff, however, there is a narrow space just wide enough to follow across to the other side. The boulder's landing has crashed the steps beneath it, however. Push or use the hammer and chisel. I'm going to see if I can got the might to do it. Definitely me. You heave the boulder, pulling all your strength behind the action. The boulder slides and rolls haltingly across the cracked steps, then plunges over the side and away. You hear the echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down on the side of the cliff. The sound seems to stir something overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. But you do see the rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks flung down at you from above. Crumbling into action, the party ducks under a small rocky protrusion along the cliff face. But Alo stumbles and is left just short of shelter. A sudden hailstorm of fist-sized rocks and scattered debris rains down upon him. Battered and bruised, Elif leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumbling of falling stones fades away. Your ordeal past, you continue your climb, and the rest of the journey proceeds without incident. At last you find yourself at the base of a final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillars of Kaler's Nest. And this is where I get the bow to be thingied. Okay, so, are you damaged? Concussion. Save it here. Rest again. Scooby dooby doop, doo 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 doop, Scooby dooby doo doo doop doo.
Have a moment to talk?
I said, hey. Yes, I do have a moment to talk.
A deer in the middle of Air Glonfoss.
Yeah, a deer.
But I'm glad I can bring this success back to Masuk. And perhaps Persak will return to us one day because of it.
Do you think Masuk will remember you the way they remember Persak? It'd be nice to know I've made a difference, and to get the first choice of caribou flank during festival time.
To be honest, the biggest relief is knowing that my journey was worthwhile. That finding Persak and carrying our village's story to him will strengthen our community and return his soul to us. I'm looking forward to being back in Masuk among my family and my people. But more than anything, I'm glad to finally understand the purpose behind these last 5 years. What do you think? Do you feel as though you understand the purpose behind your hunt for Theos?
I need to know what happened in my past and why it haunts me now.
Those reasons can make all the difference. I hope they're useful to you.
Certainly hope
Anyway, Theos isn't getting any closer. I suppose we'd best keep after him.
so. Okay. That's all I need to do. So that should be her stuff done as well.
Right. What's the plan again?
As you reach the summit of the mountain, a gust of wind stirs the air. You hear a noise like the snapping of sails, and the sky is briefly blotted out. A dragon lands before you, shaking the ground beneath your feet. It draws itself up to its full height and spreads its wings, barring your passage. Its neck, its back, and the ridge of its spine are covered in magnificent plumage. It hisses at you, and while the sound is unlike any language you've ever heard, the beast's meaning is utterly clear.
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
A small worm crouches in a corner of the temple behind the dragon. Be careful, Watcher. My mind is on edge, not with anger, but with fear. There is little more dangerous than a mother defending its offspring. You have a young here.
I will protect my last hatchling to the death, and that death will be yours, rodent.
Helia is the goddess of motherhood, actually.
And of the sky and all winged creatures. Even my kind know of her.
Is that why you came here?
I came to care for my remaining hatchling. My kind requires territory. Few places are safe for our young. This is a lesson that cost me the rest of my brood.
No, like I say, I don't want to kill the dragon. I've not killed any dragon. Well, I killed a drake close to a dragon, but I don't want to do that.
So be it. Go then, and with my thanks.
Hey. Even while their eyes are warm, approving. Truly, you are full of surprises and rare insights.
Hail, traveler!
Trainer's no longer a problem. Here's her head. How to wonder what gets into Kef like that. I'm glad to hear the matter's done with. Here's your bounty. Slaying days are over. That's a piece of news that ought to help quite a few souls sleep a little better. Hope it brings our clients some peace. Here's the payment. Devlin, good. Here's the bounty. And Captain is dead. I'll wager a Valerian sea captain singing your praises right about now. Well, here's you as you promised. More. Let's see. There's a pack of wizards with a price on their heads. Then there's another bounty offer from the Grafafan tribes. Last one is going to be rough. Even ever tangled with a frick track before? Yes, I have actually. Now this one, looks like someone's crossed the dominoes. High Arcanus Yissel. She and her cabal of wizards are holed up in a tower in Heritage Hall. Okay. Bounties for Norak the Prophet, a Grafafan exile. He was banished from this tribe for this extreme views. Norlik's a cipher, and it seems like he's taken an interest in an Angwafan site north of Gilded Fell, Killant Lease. Several tribes have pulled together the coin for his bounty. They say they don't want him to tampering with some machine out there. Now, I'm going after the fag track. Well, one of those exarchs, the Sickers, has turned up in Pearlwood Bluff with some of his kin. This offers unsigned, but it seems like someone doesn't want him sticking around. Hello.